What's going on, y'all? It's another day on the Day One podcast. I'm your co-host, Anthony. I got my co-host, Kyle. Say what's up. What's happening, y'all? Let's get this shit going, baby.
How about it? NBA season back. How did you feel about the NBA on NBC?
Dude, it was a spectacle, kind of. I didn't get to watch any of the Warriors game, which made me sad because I'm waking up at like 3 o'clock in the morning to go to work right now. But I watched night one, opening night. It was Rockets Thunder, and they did the intros, bro.
Mm-hmm.
We were able to see KD like get booed off the floor. Just everything about it. It was very nostalgic. Combined with all the stuff. I mean, we'll talk about, the bad news that came out of the NBA today, but the last couple days, they've just been dropping little things about what their plans are, like bringing back the big Larry O'Brien in the middle of the court for the NBA Finals. Like, that's huge. Like, I don't remember a time where I felt this excited going into an NBA season since, like, I don't know, like, maybe Wemby's year for his first year when he first started out. I don't know, maybe even earlier than that. Like, it kind of feels like this year there's a lot to be excited about. There's not very many bad teams, and if there are bad teams, there's things to be excited about. But in terms of the NBA on NBC, that shit was cool. I'm excited to see how we move forward this season because, I mean, Inside the NBA is on ESPN now. They had their debut too.
Yeah.
I'm excited for some hoops.
Yeah, I'm excited too. a lot to look forward to, and it seems like the NBA is listening to their audience and finally catering to some of the requests.
Yep.
And, focusing on the presentation, which they've lacked in. But hey, we here. What's going on, y'all? It's another day on the Day One podcast. I'm your co-host, Anthony. I got my co-host, Kyle. Say what's up.
What's going on, y'all?
Hey, man. No Smitty at the moment. Prayers for Smitty in the chat. His father passed, so our condolences to our brother, Smitty.
Yep. Most of y'all watching, or that will watch this back right away, will probably come from his channel. So just send him some love on Twitter. Just shout out to Smitty. Hope he's doing all right. He might even pop into the show. We don't know. We dropped him the link. We just wanted to, give him an open invite to maybe get a little bit of an escape from what he's feeling right now. But much love to Smitty.
Yeah, much love, and always here to support our bro. If he pops in, we'll talk ball. If not, no worries. We holding it down tonight. We're going to talk about the NBA opening night this past week. We're going to talk about our award picks and finals prediction. No, we're not picking all 82 games for all NBA teams. Don't worry, we haven't gotten there yet. Maybe next year. We'll see.
Maybe.
But we'll do that, and then we'll switch gears to the NFL, talk about this past week's games, obviously, the Eagles news and Jets news, and then get into these matchups for week number 8 in the NFL season. It's crazy. It's already week 8, bro.
I know. It's kind of depressing. Like, it feels like the NFL season is long in a way because you kind of have to wait all week to watch type of ordeal. But, like, I mean, basketball ended 3 months ago. Like, you know what I'm saying? And obviously football being such a high contact sport, they just can't do that. But I would totally incentivize them to, like, add in an extra bye week and, like, push things out a little bit more, try to spread it a little bit just so we can get some, it can get deeper into the year. Cause it kind of feels like, we don't even know what teams are really until, like, Halloween. And by then you're like already talking about playoff seeding. So it's kind of like
not even like it could be even further than that to where you really know what teams are like November, December, and we're right into the heat of playoff talk. Like I mean the Eagles last year, like obviously we knew that they were a running team, but like teams never really hit their stride till the end. We didn't hit our stride until literally the end.
Right.
But we'll discuss it. But before we get into all of it, drop a like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell so you don't miss a single video. We are over 900 subscribers. We are less than 100 away from the big 1K subscribers on the channel. Doing your thing this football season. And now with the NBA here, we are not going anywhere. So keep doing what you're doing. Hit the like button, hit that subscribe button. Keep showing love. We appreciate it.
Yeah, much love. We need to get into this conversation. We're going to start off with the NBA like we talked about. But a big NBA scandal broke out this morning, as I'm sure all of you know. Two top, not necessarily top guys, but well-known names in the NBA were arrested this morning by the FBI for their involvement in illegal gambling, illegal poker games, mafia stuff. Like it's pretty gross. But not only that, also the thing that probably actually bothers me the most as a sports fan, integrity with the sport. That's not why they're getting arrested, but it might as well should be. Chauncey Billups, head coach of the Portland Trail Blazers, former Finals MVP, career vet. Is he a Hall of Famer? I'm pretty sure he is at this point.
I think so.
Yeah, well, for now. A great player in his days. He's the head coach of the Blazers. And guard for the Miami Heat, Terry Rozier, both being arrested this morning for their involvement and stuff. Apparently there's been 34 total people arrested. That's the number that I saw. Those are the two big names, and who knows where else this could take us. But another guy, and he's worth mentioning. He's like a unofficial coach with the Lakers under Darvin Ham. Damon Jones, he's worked around LeBron. He's also another guy that got arrested too.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, a lot to unpack here. I'll just read a little bit of this one article I have here, and we'll kind of react to it as we go. I mean, not all the information's out there. The FBI is only going to tell you what they want you to hear. And then I've got like some questions for you I want to ask, just because we kind of got to have an idea of where this could go. Because like things like this, like
big deal.
Once the first bit comes out, like it could really snowball. Like we remember what happened. It was either last year or the year before with Jonte Porter. He got banned from the league for life.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the precedent. You look, Terry Rozier, good quality guard,
right?
Chauncey Billups, head coach, Hall of Fame, Finals MVP. Like that's yeah. So when you start looking at stuff like this, it gets really ugly really quick. And, I saw some things on Twitter. Obviously, it's all pure speculation, but like, obviously, Malik Beasley is under investigation. But an interesting video clip from one of your fellow Warriors, Gary Payton. I think it was against Toronto, or no, it was Washington. There was a clip of him at the end of a game where Washington was trying to cover the 12-point spread, and he was, kind of shitting bricks like he had money on the game, and kind of alluded to, bro, they might have to shoot another shot. Oh my God. And sure enough, Warriors shoot all 2 free throws, make it up 14. Wizards hit a late 3 at the buzzer to cover the spread, and he's just in distraught on the bench as the rest of his teammates are laughing. So not that he was named in this, but you never know how deep this runs.
Right. If we're talking about like potential mafia connections, and you're also, this is a Hall of Fame, like the Terry Rozier thing's one thing, and like the Jonte Porter situation, like these are all like, good role players, have made careers in the league. Chauncey Billups is like a known commodity in basketball. If you think about 2000s, late 90s basketball, and you think about the Hall of Fame, 3-point shooting, all of that points back to Chauncey Billups. It's just it's a shame, and you never know where this could go. I mean, if a head coach is doing this, who else on that staff knows about it? What players know about it? I mean, they spend 8 to 10 hours a day probably with their head coach. Buses, travel, planes, all kinds of shit. Like, it's not easy to hide anything in today's world anymore. And that, I guess, is part of the reason why they're getting caught. But yeah, let me just scroll through this article really quick. This is about the Damon Jones guy. I'm gonna read this because it's connected to LeBron pretty big, and I don't think people realize how big. But this is from ESPN. Former 11-year NBA player Damon Jones was arrested Thursday amid charges that he allegedly disclosed privileged injury information about a prominent basketball player to facilitate illegal sports betting. LeBron James.
Davis.
Huh?
Anthony Davis.
No. LeBron James was the prominent player. And that is a source that's close to LeBron in his camp.
Oh.
So someone close to LeBron knows, which means who might know.
Yeah.
LeBron has not been accused of any wrongdoing at the time. Obviously, I said earlier, there's 34 people arrested, including Damon Jones. So yeah, the reason why this is so big with him is Damon Jones was an unofficial, unpaid part of this coaching staff with Darvin Ham, because the summer before, Damon Jones was working with LeBron on his game. So Darvin Ham invited him into the team. Anyway, he's no longer with them now that JJ Redick's the coach. But yeah, this is going back to a game where LeBron, the Lakers were playing the Bucks, and LeBron had an ankle thing. So Damon Jones told whoever, like the people that were betting, to bet heavy on Milwaukee tonight. He bets heavy on Milwaukee. LeBron gets ruled out. He actually misses the next 3 games. Milwaukee wins by 10. And there's leaked text messages of make sure your guy D Jones, make sure you bet high enough so your boy D Jones gets to eat too.
Wow.
Yeah, so this is a player that is a person that is close to LeBron, leaking information to people to create, high profits with sports betting. And then the stuff that's going on with Terry Rozier, that dates back to a multitude of games that I was reading up on.
There's multiple clips on social media of him just like purposely llosing the ball and just like,
no, and there's that one specific one. I think it looks like it's against the Magic. I think that team is listed in the like group, because it happened between March 2023 and March 2024, which lines up to the timeline, and it lines up to the video. So there's Terry there, and they're saying that it's most likely like direct betting on himself, like Jonte Porter was.
Yeah.
And then with Chauncey Billups, it's all Chauncey Billups. So it's all connected into one big investigation, but it's separate cases. So the separate case for Chauncey Billups, even though it's connected, is that he is involved in an illegal betting and rigged poker game, like ring within the mafia.
Wow.
And there's been mentions of highly known crime families involved. Like I've actually heard of before, the Lucchese's. They're actually a big crime family out of like New York, Chicago-ish, tri-state area. They're a name that's been brought up a few times. So like, who knows how deep this goes?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. And one of the things I wanted to ask you about it is the interesting thing to me, obviously, is the LeBron stuff. There's a bunch of things to unpack with it, but we've never really had LeBron being involved in any type of like controversy ever. Like, that's not what he does. He's always been very, very by the book. My question is, one, do you think there could be like a possibility, because this might sound a little dumb, but LeBron has been on record many, many, many times, and I'm sure you've seen this too, in different interviews about like he refuses to like pay for like Pandora Plus because he doesn't want to spend the money. Like, he's a very cheap person. which means he's probably money hungry and money driven. Because obviously of how he grew up, he had nothing when he was younger. I mean, he signed his deal with Nike, and his life changed forever once he got into the NBA. So like that type of thing doesn't leave you. I know for a fact, like how I grew up, if I got handed $10 million right now, I wouldn't spend it because I'd be too afraid. I'd want to hold on to it for as much as possible. But like,
I mean
that
you never know. I mean, that could be possible. I mean, you don't know for sure until it comes out that, like someone close to LeBron, while LeBron may have been tipping them that information, you don't know for sure if he was involved in it. And, I mean, not to get, too off the rails with, these crazy cases, but, LeBron's been associated with a couple of high profile crazy conspiracy rings in the past, but
the Diddy stuff most recently.
So would it be out of the realm of possibility? Maybe not, but we don't know for sure.
No.
If that was the case, that's absolutely insane and definitely tarnishes LeBron's legacy and his GOAT case. Because I mean, M had the gambling conspiracy. It's kind of similar. It's kind of similar.
The thing is that makes it different, though, is back then MJ knew if it's true or not, we don't know. It probably is, because he's an unknown gambler today. Like he does gamble. Like it's not like something that's really hidden anymore. But like the difference is back then you couldn't really find out the truth because there's nothing really out there. It's all kind of hearsay unless you find concrete evidence. Like, and honestly, like you only finding out about that shit back then if you see it in a newspaper. Like, now the second it comes out that he could have had any involvement, the entire world will know instantly. And the entire world will create an opinion because what does it do? It gets on social media and it snowballs, and we want to put comments in and we want to reply to comments, and it becomes a big talking point. Back then it was a big talking point, but it didn't move the way it does now.
Yeah. I think the bigger problem, and it's bigger than LeBron, but I think from a league perspective and really the sports world, it puts a big question on the integrity of the game. Just because you have players and coaches that are illicit in determining the outcomes of games artificially, not organically by let's play the game and whoever is the best team wins that day. Purposely sabotaging your team for monetary gain is a problem in sports. And it begs the question, like, if this is going on in the NBA, there's that big conspiracy about the NFL being rigged. Is it going on there? Is it going on in the MLB?
Yep. Like,
where else is this? Like, how deep does the rabbit hole go?
And that's the thing, because everything today, because of social media and to be able to reach anyone on the planet with the tap of our phones, like anyone can be involved. Anyone. Like LeBron is who's someone in the NFL that he's like really close with. I can't really name anyone specifically, but who does he interact with a lot on Twitter? I don't know. I can't name anybody, but like for example, though. Who's to say if LeBron is a really close friend that plays in the NFL? Who's to say he's not, asking that guy? Because LeBron is on DraftKings, like commercials, betting football, giving his picks.
Yeah.
Who's to say? And to me, I don't really like that. And I'll tell you why. Even before this, I didn't like it because it's kind of like LeBron. You're LeBron James. You can't tell me you don't communicate with all pros in the NFL and like all these different people and coaches and all kinds of stuff. He's a former football player. He comes to games, like, you know what I mean? You can't convince me that like he hasn't heard about an injury before it came out.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, hey, Hey, Trent Williams, how are you doing? I'm good, man. My ankle's a little tight, but we'll see how we're looking for Sunday. He finds out about that Wednesday. You know what I mean? What if it doesn't come out till Saturday? What if these game time decisions?
Right.
I mean, there's things like that happen that aren't necessarily bad things, but can be misinterpreted and pulled into a case like this. Even innocent things, if you are doing other bad things, can be seen as clues and facts. You know what I mean? It just kind of is like interpretation's a big thing. And yeah, I would highly doubt if he had anything to do with it. Because like, you know, we talk about all these different kinds of conspiracies that go on in Hollywood and sports and music and all these different things. And like, you know, could it be possible that with the amount of power and pull that LeBron has, that he could cover shit like that up? Absolutely. There could be all kinds of stuff going on that we have no clue what's happening. The likely of LeBron James being a gambling crime boss, pretty low. So that's kind of where I sit with it. I don't like the idea that our GOAT's being brought up in these conversations right away. But yeah, that's just kind of where I'm at with the whole thing. I hope it gets figured out relatively quick because it's disgusting to me that this is where we're at. And you know, these guys, whether they're guilty or not, they're probably going to get banned for life. Like Terry Rozier's career is done. It's done.
Yeah.
The second he got arrested, it's
done.
Yeah. Chauncey Billups, whether he gets like scrubbed from the history books, we don't know yet. Is he done coaching? Probably.
Yeah. I don't know if I don't know if you can scrub him from the history books.
Pete Rose. Not in the Baseball Hall of Fame. No one talks about him as he is the certified greatest hitter to ever play, and no one talks about him. It's just kind of been like a generational thing where we just forget. And the other thing about it too is it's not like Pete Rose was the great or Chauncey Billups wasn't the guy of his era. You can't in the 2000s. If this was Allen Iverson, you can't scrub him from the history books. Yeah. Chauncey Billups is just low enough on the totem pole that you can. That's why they were able to do it with Pete Rose.
Finals MVP.
Yeah. Huh?
Even with the Finals MVP.
Even with the Finals MVP. Like, that's the thing. Like, I mean, even a guy like Barry Bonds, they tried their ass off to get rid of him. And they kind of did. He wasn't in the Baseball Hall of Fame. Like, they don't talk about him as the home run king. They talk about Babe Ruth still. Like, it's very, like, and that's obviously for different things, it's steroids, but it still goes back to integrity. Right. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my main thing. Like how deep does this go? If it's the NBA, what other leagues are, you know, in on this? I mean, obviously we know sports betting is a huge profitable business. Mm-hmm. And you know, like you have athletes, like you said, like LeBron is literally in DraftKings commercials. Like,
right.
You can't tell me that these guys aren't illicit to some extent or participate in it to some extent. Mm-hmm. Whether it's incidentally just, you know, for the love of sports betting or like they got some tipped information. Like the thing with Isaiah Rodgers a couple years ago.
Yep.
Wasn't that he was betting on the Colts.
Mm-hmm.
He was just betting the bet. Mm-hmm.
The problem is the problem that's like the tough line where like you don't know exactly which way to go with it, but like I look at it like basketball is more intimate I think player to player because like there's not that many guys on a team, so like, you know, in terms of friendships, business, you reach outside of your team more, whereas in NFL you're kind of focused on 50 relationships at all times.
Yeah.
If LeBron got caught for betting on Warriors versus Spurs, and he bet that that Draymond would be under 8 rebounds because he knew that he was going to be his minutes were going to be reduced because he's coming off an ankle. Like if he's betting on that, just thinking that can be interpreted as, oh, LeBron's a smart basketball player. He knows how coaches are. If Draymond's got an ankle because they played last week, he's probably going to be on limited minutes. The other side of it is LeBron and Draymond have business ventures together. They're friends. They do all this kind of stuff, and now he's betting on them.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter. I think as far as I'll go is even betting on, like, it's okay to bet on other sports, but even then I'm like, you're a famous athlete who you can literally ask your agent to get any phone number of any player on the planet. Like, you can't tell me there isn't someone out there unknown that's in the NBA betting on NFL things because they know something, or vice versa. Like, it's happening somewhere. And I hate to say it, but it's probably the truth.
Yeah, it probably is, but we'll never know for sure.
No.
Until, years down the line. But it's crazy that this is where we're at. And, obviously, like I said, we have the whole speculating crowd of these games are rigged. Vegas always wins. Well, in the NBA world, we're kind of seeing through the window that maybe this is truly the reality.
Yep. And
it's sad because sports, are, they're entertainment, but for a lot of people, it's a galvanizer, a unifier, an escape. So you never want to question the integrity of that.
No.
But yeah, what a crazy story. What a crazy story.
Agreed. If you have any opinions on this or have any thoughts yourselves, make sure you drop it in the comments below. Leave a like on this video. We appreciate you guys listening. Take care.
Good shit.
All right. Anyways, back to our regular scheduled program. We just wanted to clip that for a video.
Yeah.
So let's move into good things with basketball.
Yeah.
Let's make our predictions for the season.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm gonna pull up all the shit here. Let's see.
Okay.
All right. So, what award do you want to go with first?
I don't know. Let's do whatever you want. Defensive Player of the Year.
Sure, DPOI. That's a big one. We'll start with that. I'm going to give you. I have a runner-up and I have a winner. And I'll give you my reasoning. So, for Defensive Player of the Year, I'm going with my runner-up to be Draymond Green. I'm going with Draymond because I think he's proven that in this later portion of his career, he's been able to do it consistently regardless of how he's aged. He actually dropped weight this summer too, so I think that's really going to help him a little bit. He was a little bit bulkier last season, and even then he was on all defense. So I think the Warriors are going to be good enough where he's going to get consideration. I don't think they're necessarily a contender right now. We'll see what kind of jump guys like Kuminga and Pods and all those people make. But I like the Jimmy Butler. It takes a little bit off of Draymond's shoulders, not being the only defensive juggernaut. It allows him to be a little bit free because what Draymond's so good about is Draymond is the defensive version of what Jokic does for an offense. It's heliocentric. Yeah. Everything revolves around me. I'm handling everything all at once. And I'm able to do that because I'm so great. That might be one of my best takes I've ever had. But Draymond defensively is just like Jokic is offensively. And I think adding a guy like Jimmy Butler, obviously they had him last year, but you bring in him, that's a perimeter defender there. That's a certified wing that can help him. So Draymond's not going to have to help to the weak side that often. He's going to be able to stay under the basket, roam, do his thing, and it's really going to help. Yeah. That's why they had so much success in 2022 with Andrew Wiggins, because he was playing like a top two-way guy in the league, which is crazy to think about because we're only 2 years removed from that. Right. So for that reason alone, I'm going with Draymond as my runner-up. And for my winner, it's not even close. I'm going with Wemby. He's just, we're going to talk about it more. Probably we'll talk about it like, maybe with other awards or whatever we're talking about. But he's just amazing. His wingspan, blocking shots, steals, being in passing lanes. He's just, he can do everything that both Anthony Davis and Rudy Gobert can do, and they're both completely different defenders. Anthony Davis is an under the basket, shot blocker, switch type defender, and Rudy Gobert is just kind of a hoverer, floater. If you're driving towards the basket and he's under there, you're gonna turn around and go back because you know you're not going to get a bucket on Rudy. Wemby can play those roles perfectly. And he's quick that he can get in transition. He can get back quickly too. That's where the Spurs are going to find a lot of success this season is when you have a dominant big on offense, typically they're not able to get back on defense so quick. And that allows teams that are fast-paced and can get out in transition to be able to pick you apart a little bit. Wemby will dunk, take 4 steps, and be at half court.
Yeah.
So... for me, I think it's going to be Wemby. Again, to me, his biggest question is health. I like the Spurs guards, Stephon Castle, Dylan Harper, and Devin Vassell combined. I like all 3 of them. Like their.
You got De'Aaron Fox on ice too for when
right. Like back. I like their wings. If it's me, I'm moving De'Aaron Fox. And I'm getting a big wing. If these guards are going to play the way they're playing, but anyways. Yeah. I think it's a perfect situation for Wemby to dominate. They only need to get to like the 5th seed for him to do it. And in the West is a little shaky this year. So yeah. I got Wemby as my DPOI.
Yeah. I haven't thought too far as a runner up, but my winner is also Wemby. I mean, that first game, and like you said, we'll talk about it, but he was just absolutely insane. It was insane. Mm-hmm. And obviously we know his defensive capabilities, health is obviously the question. But I mean, he was influencing 2-on-1 opportunities in that Dallas game, with just by his pure presence. And, you know, he's just going to continue to get better. He's only 23.
I don't even know if he's that old.
Yeah. Like, bro is gonna be even better than this. It's crazy, but definitely I think Wemby is
Wemby's 21 years old.
21. All right. So he's gonna get even better. So yeah, it's not even close for me. I think Wemby is clearly the defensive player of the year.
Yep. And don't worry for yourself about giving runner-ups. I just brought him up because I brought up runner-ups because it's mostly because I think there's obvious picks and then picks that I really think are possible. And I kind of try to find a nice balance between the two. Let's do clutch player of the year. Okay.
Clutch player of the year. I'm probably I think Shea. I think Shea might be a good pick.
Okay. All right. I like Shea. I mean, they're going to be in a lot of close games. They don't have, despite what a lot of people think, I don't think they've got a lot of offensive firepower. I think they're good. I think they got 2 guys that can explode at any minute. But in terms of consistent, like 20-point, 25-point scorers, I don't think they necessarily have that. They're kind of a team that gets it where you're hot. The only one that isn't like that is Shea. I like that. He's always going to have the ball in his hands down the late stretches. The only thing I could see is Jalen Williams taking opportunities away from him.
Yeah, that's fair. But I mean, without Jay Will, we saw it in that first game against Houston that, you know, with the ball in his hands, he's going to make something happen in that, for sure, in that clutch scenario. I mean, there's a bunch of different guys that can get it. But you know, when I think of you know, clutch player, obviously he was just MVP, but you know, ball in his hands, last second.
Yep.
You want to take the shot? Probably Shea. He's just one of, if not the best pure hoopers in the league.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. So my runner-up for clutch player of the year, I'm going Jamal Murray. I think the Nuggets lost a few and added a few this season. They're going to look a little bit different, which means I don't think they're going to be as dominant coming out of the gate. And we'll talk about them a little bit later because I've got more info on the Broncos. But I like Jamal Murray in this spot. He's 2 years removed from his big injury. He's going into his quote-unquote prime. He just turned 28. he's already won a championship, so the pressure's kind of off of him to perform in the playoffs. So like I kind of feel like this is a house money kind of season for them, because like they've already kind of done what they need to do with this core. So it's kind of just like, can we replicate it? And I think throughout the regular season, we're going to see a lot of games where Jamal Murray is going to be able to take over. This might actually be the first year he becomes an all-star. I think there's real potential there, because you think about they lose Michael Porter. That's like a 17 to 22 point per game score right there. So I like Jamal Murray. But my number one, I'm going to take Steph. Steph last year was really, really good in the clutch. He was I think it was number 2 actually behind. I think it was De'Aaron Fox that won it last year.
It was.
But he was number 2. I think that's kind of going to be more of the same. And I think with Jimmy Butler, they're actually going to be better this season. I don't know if you know this, but when Steph, Jimmy, and Draymond were on the court last year, they were 24-3. So no, that are they going to keep that whole standard this season? Probably not. But I still think they're going to be really good. They're old, so they got to stay healthy. But I think they're going to be in enough games and potentially winning enough games for Steph to really thrive in those situations. And say what you want, and a lot of players are like this, but I think Steph is better when he's not the only option. And now a lot of guys are like that, except for guys like Luka. Like Luka's better when he's the only guy. But like Steph really works well when there's someone else that he can run off of, and Jimmy Butler can be that. So yeah, I like Steph to be. I think he's going to be more fresh this season because Jimmy Butler has proven that he can play make. Podziemski last year played really well. They've got good guard play. They're supposed to bring in Steph Curry in probably a couple days to like a week or so here once they figure out like the financials of it. And that's like a guaranteed thing to happen. They just have to like actually create the money. But I think they've got a lot of opportunity here to like find some success without him on the floor. And that'll allow him to be more fresh down the stretch. Not to mention guys like Buddy Hield and DeAnthony Melton that are on that team too for guards. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Steph for clutch player of the year.
Okay.
Yep. Let's do another relatively new award. Let's go with the Hustle Award. This one I'm basing strictly off of recency bias. But it really made me think about it, looking at some box scores and back at some highlights and stuff. I'm taking Davion Mitchell for the Heat.
I like that one.
Yeah, off night. I love Bro's nickname. He's probably got the best nickname in the league. Off night is sick as fuck.
Yeah.
Holy shit! I took the tight end for the Chargers for that prop bet, and he was the first touchdown scorer.
Oh hell yeah!
Let's go,
Gadsden.
Yeah, Gadsden. I took him.
Oh hell yeah! I just started him in fantasy tonight.
Yeah. Let's go. All right.
I like that
flag.
pick. He's such a gritty player.
Yeah.
I always liked watching him on Sacramento, and now that he's with the Heat, he has a little bit of a more prominent role.
Yeah.
He is an awesome player.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a perfect situation for him. Plus, when Tyler Hero gets back, he's not going to have to work with the ball as much. But he's a scrappy defender, and I don't think there's a better like defensive guard to fit into a system than him with the Heat. Like he is the epitome of everything that they are. So I really like it. I think it's perfect.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I don't have another one in mind. So I'm just gonna be right
ride
there
with your boy. Ride with your boy.
I'm gonna ride with my boy. I like Davion Mitchell.
Yeah, let's go. All right, let's do Coach of the Year. I'll go first. I'll go first if you want to go. Do you want to go?
You can go if you want.
Okay. So my runner-up, this is my like kind of dark horse. I'm gonna take Mitch Johnson for the Spurs. Reason being, I think, like I said, this team has a lot of potential. I think this could be the Pacers of last season. Surprise 50 to 55 win team. Kind of like not one person is necessarily the super great. Obviously, Wemby's going to be better than Tyrese could fucking dream to be. But I think they're going to do it mostly by committee, especially when they're going to demand so much out of Wembyana defensively. So I actually really like the idea of the Spurs getting this done. If they get 52, 53 wins, that could be a top 3 seed in the West, depending on how things shake up. Because there's not really like a heavy hitter outside of OKC. And then once you go from there, it's like any team can be between 48 and 58 wins. So if Wemby has the year we think he's going to have, combined with that guard rotation, I like Jeremy Sohan at wing. Excuse me. Keldon Johnson's still nice off the bench. Like they've got a lot of young talent to play with. Plus, like you said, De'Aaron Fox coming back. I like him as a runner-up, like dark horse, as long as they win enough games. But my coach of the year, I'm taking Mike Brown for the Knicks. We all know last year the Knicks made it to the conference finals. They lost, and they fired Tom Thibodeau. A lot of stuff came out from that. Like their rotation was yucky. Like the minutes they were playing was a little bit outrageous last season. Like it just didn't necessarily seem like the biggest fit. But I think they're really good. I really like to see teams that when they're good and they pretty much bring the exact same roster back. I like to see how they look under different coaches, because it's kind of like, what can you provide to this team that's got the same exact core and all the same skill sets? What can you do as a system to improve this team? And we saw it in game 1 where he would let, for big stretches, Mikal Bridges bring the ball up the court. He let OG Anunoby bring the ball up the court. That wasn't a thing last year. It was very Jalen Brunson heliocentric and kind of get in where you can fit in outside of that. But we saw Mikal Bridges in game 1. He was able to get some stuff off the dribble. He was able to create on his own. And, Mikal Bridges is a top wing defender in the league. If he's scoring, 16 to 20 a night, that's like, all-star level stuff right there. This team's going to be good. We know that. It's just a matter of, will they get over the hump in the playoffs? So I actually think they're going to win more games this year than last year. Josh Hart's coming off the bench. Deuce McBride might win 6th man of the year. And their starting lineup is really, really good. So that's where I'm at. I like Mike Brown for the Knicks.
Yeah, I don't hate that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't hate it. I don't know, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know. I'm stumped.
Yeah. What are some teams you like this year to get into that echelon of potential for coach of the year? Because there's obviously, just like any sport, there's like the recency bias. Like, have you been great for so long that it's probably not going to happen? Like, I think another good option is Ime Udoka for the Rockets. You bring in Kevin. You bring in KD.
Yeah, I like Houston. I really like Houston. I think we'll get into another pick down the line, but I think they got some really good young talent on that team that could take a step.
Mm-hmm.
Some players obviously like Fred VanVleet out for the season, but
mm-hmm.
You got some pieces there, and I think Ime Udoka. He did a good job turning it around last year. I think some of those guys take a step this year. I'm glad you brought that up, because I think that's probably where I'm leaning towards.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously the Knicks are also a good one with Mike Brown, and they looked good. But yeah, I like that. I'll go with Udoka.
Okay. Yeah. I think that's a good pick, to be honest. I just they've got to figure out their ball handling. Amon Thompson's going to be really good for them as a point guard. It's just he's got to develop as a playmaker, because he's more of an off-ball guard. So we'll kind of see what they turn into there. There's some other sexy picks that people like Toronto. I don't know who the Toronto Raptors coach is right now. But them bringing in BI, like I like their squad quite a bit. And then the Orlando Magic coach.
Orlando's another team.
Yeah, that's a team. We'll talk about them a little bit later. I got some things on them. I really like that team a lot. So but no, I think Ime Udoka, I know I basically, handed it off to you, but it's a good pick.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Let's do most improved player. So, go ahead.
I think I'm going Amin Thompson here.
Okay.
For most improved. He showed flashes last year. He's pretty solid.
Mhm.
You saw in that game one, um, they came out and he was the focal point on offense, and down the stretch it was kind of running it through him offensively. Like you said, he obviously has to work on his ball handling because he's more of a off ball guard. But I think he's a player with a lot of upside, a lot of talent coming from the G League. Young too, and I think the sky's the limit for. I think he has the trajectory to be an all-star this year if he can put
Damn.
it together. If he can put it together.
Mhm.
Not saying that that's what he's going to do, but
Mhm.
from the sample size in game one, just kind of how he was asserting himself offensively,
Right.
I think there's potential, and I think
Mhm.
if it doesn't come to that, I think he'll have a good case for most improved.
I like it. I think it's a good pick. I think there's only really two things working against him. One being he's got Alperen Şengün might make a jump this year and become legit one of the top centers in the league.
Mhm.
He's got that like Bam / Jokic like type of archetype where he can like kind of do it all defensively, offensively. He's a heliocentric type guy. This past opening night, I mean, it was 37 points. It was 15 rebounds. It was really good. And he's now shooting like 7 threes a game, and he's making them. Last year, he didn't have a jumper like that. If that's what he worked on this season, coming in with the jumper, all eyes are going to be on him. He might be an all-star. And then obviously KD, he's going to get gifted into the all-star game. I think it's a guarantee at this point. If they play enough games, LeBron, Steph, and KD will be all-stars. So that's the only thing. Could they have 3 all-stars? Sure. I think they'd have to be the 1 seed going into that time. But in terms of like getting most improved, the path I can see is if he develops as a playmaker and can take up the role of Fred VanVleet very well, because I got news for you. If this team cannot shot create, if they can't get into position, get into rhythm, and start their system with a good offensive playmaker, they're not going to be that successful. We had the same issue with what team last year? The Suns. Who was on that team? Kevin Durant. So, and they had a better player playing point guard. They had Devin Booker. So, like, it's a matter of if he can develop as a playmaker and, average 6 assists a night and, like, working on that stuff. That'll be a real benefit for him, because if they don't really miss a step losing Fred VanVleet, that's what's going to be his case. So, yeah, I like it. So I have obviously I have my dark horse, and then I have my certified winner. My dark horse is Andrew Nembhard, guard for the Pacers. He's taken over the starting spot for Tyrese Halliburton. We saw in stretches last year off the bench where he would have big games. He would start alongside Tyrese sometimes.
We saw it in the finals too.
Right, he's a good playmaker. If he can become a guy that can get you, he's not going to I don't think he's going to be a 25 a night kind of guy. But if he's a 17, 18, 19 a night with 9, 10 assists a night, that's enough, I think, to do it, especially if he can get this team back into the playoffs. Because he's got the horses around him. He's got Pascal Siakam. Benedict Mathurin, I think, is going to be nice for them off the bench. He's another idea for a most improved player with the Tyrese shots going away. But yeah, I like Andrew Nembhard. And then my certified most improved, we've seen in years past, they've tend to give it a lot of the guys that go from fringe all-star level to like superstar. Like I remember the year that John Morant got it, we were like, you got to be kidding me. X player deserved it. Because they clearly went from this to this. I think that was the year. Was that the year Jordan Poole lost it?
I don't know.
I think it was 22. The year that the Warriors won the finals was the year Jordan Poole exploded. And he had that 3-guard combo. Yeah. I think that was the year John Morant won it. Fair, he scored 30 a night, but like we knew he was a star before that. Right. I'm going to take that same route. I'm going to go with Brandon Miller for the Hornets.
Okay.
I like Brandon Miller. He played really well in game 1. LaMelo Ball, if he's healthy this year, it's really going to open up a lot of things for him. He's going to be the certified number 2 on that team. Don't forget, he was just the top 3 pick last year. He's got the talent. There's a reason he was picked that high. So, you give it some time. You let his point guard there is going to draw all the attention. Let him stay on the court. I think Brandon Miller is going to explode. He might be a 24, 25 a night guy this season. I'm going to take Brandon Miller.
I like that. And it's one of your guys too.
It is. It's one of my guys. So, and when am I wrong about my guys? Not very often. So
very rarely, but sometimes.
I'm very rarely wrong to begin with. So, just saying. But all right, let's do. What do we got? Let's do Rookie of the Year. Okay, pretty easy one, I'd say.
Is it?
I think so. I think it's a 2-man run. I think a 2-horse race. I'm gonna go with my runner-ups Cooper Flag, and my winners VJ Edgecombe.
Same.
It's a little bit of recency bias, but the reason I'm actually going with VJ is I think the Sixers are going to be a better team. And he's going to get all of the guard looks that are outside of Tyrese Maxey. That's his benefit, is he's playing next to him. Joel Embiid is done. He's done. I don't know if you saw anything from the Sixers game. He can't jump. Like, he's not getting off the floor. He just looks like old Shaq out there. And that's not a shot or anything like that, but it really doesn't look good for him. So that's kind of where I'm at with the whole thing. I just VJ Edgecombe is going to be their certified number 2, I think. Embiid's going to draw attention, so that's going to open up more stuff for him. I mean, I think we saw it in game 1. The opportunities are going to be there. The reason why it's not even so much as him being the reason that I think he'll be Rookie of the Year, it's what Cooper Flag's not going to do. Here's the thing. Anthony Davis is going to command a lot of shots. Klay Thompson's going to demand a lot of shots. And when Kyrie Irving comes back, he's going to demand a lot of shots. Right. I would say
There's 9 out of 1 ball to go around.
I would say 9 out of 10 nights he's going to be the 3rd or 4th option.
Yeah.
Because I got news for you. Klay's getting his.
Yeah.
Klay's getting his. He might be the worst of all 4 of them. He's getting his. As often as everyone else is getting his, maybe even more.
Right.
So that's a big thing.
I'm right there with you. And not only because, VJ had a historic, rookie debut. Yeah, what's up with your camera, bro?
I don't know. It's just not focusing. It's weird.
Hey, focus.
Yeah, focus.
But no, I think he showed a lot in that first game.
Right.
And as the Sixers, that's what they needed. They needed a 2 guard with, his burst, his scoring ability. Like, that's something that they've lacked for really since, Jimmy Butler played the 3, but really since Jimmy Butler.
Right.
It was very, very promising to see that from VJ. I know that was the big talk in the town of Philly was they VJ Edgecombe or Ace Bailey. I think we made the right pick.
Yeah, I would say so. So far. I didn't even see Ace Bailey's box score last night. Not that that's a good indication of how a player plays, but at least in terms of stats are impacted at the end of the day. Ace Bailey, he only played 20 minutes. He was 1 for 5, 2 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. Yeah, that's just not what they're looking for. And VJ Edgecombe's a better fit. I mean, we saw with James Harden. Say what you want about James Harden in the playoffs. The fit with him, Embiid, and Maxey was awesome. So you get a younger player in there that's not going to command as much money, number one, and obviously ball dominance too, because Tyrese Maxey is taking over that team. He's got a chance to be the starting guard in the All-Stars this year.
Yeah.
So Yeah, VJ Edgecombe, it's kind of easy for me just because the gravity around him is going to allow him to thrive, whereas the gravity around Cooper Flagg is going to have him be more spotty, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep. And when you do something for the first time in 60 years, you're pretty good at basketball. He's scored the most points in an NBA debut since like 1964.
Since Wilt Chamberlain.
Yeah, that's insane. It's ridiculous. All right. Sixth man of the year. So I'll give you my runner-up and then my winner. My runner-up is going to be Josh Hart. The reason why he's not my winner is because I don't know who they're going to shove into the starting lineup at some point. It's either going to be him or McBride. I don't think McBride's quite good enough to make sixth man of the year on that team, even though he was 4 for 6 from 3 in his shots the other night. But I think if Josh Hart ends up being on the bench, where I think is probably the way to go. He is kind of the OG and Mikal Bridges are kind of the same archetype. You throw in Josh Hart in there to like slide in between them. It's kind of tough. Josh Hart's not really a shooting guard. He's kind of like the Bruce Brown, like small forward, power forward vibe. I think that'd be better coming off the bench. And then he'll be in their closing lineups, I'm sure. But coming off the bench, I think is a better spot for him. But if he doesn't end up doing that, I'm taking Anthony Simons for the Celtics.
Okay.
He's not going to start at point guard. I think that's going to be a mix of Peyton Pritchard, Jaylen Brown doing it a lot. I want to see what their starting lineup. Derek White, yeah. Like the other night, it was Derek White, Jaylen Brown, and Peyton Pritchard. If those three are starting, that tells me that Anthony Simons will very rarely touch that. And we've seen this. This is a situation that we've seen a lot of guys in the past win a lot of career sixth man of the years. I mean, you look at a guy like Jamal Crawford, who was a career starter until he became a bench player. And like he was like a 1 to 2 on some teams early on in his career. Guys like who was the guy that won? He won it like 2 or 3 times, like early in the 2010s. Okay, here's another example. A Sean Livingston or a Jordan Clarkson. These are players that were starters early on in their career, were ball dominant, centric guys on kind of losing teams that ended up taking on a role where they could just go get buckets and that was what they needed from that team. I think Anthony Simons is in the perfect situation to be that, because we've seen him as a number one option, and it's a little inconsistent. But on the nights that he was on, he was pretty good as a starting point guard for the Blazers in those teams. You slide him into this responsibility where he's got to command a second unit, shoot the piss out of the ball, and just do his thing without the pressure of like closing a fourth quarter. I think it's the perfect situation for him. I'm an Anthony Simons guy. I think he's going to have a really good season this year. He started it off with a 13.4 rebound performance off the bench for the Celtics this year, and they're going to need help off the bench with Jason Tatum being out. So that's where I'm at. Anthony Simons.
Yeah, I like that pick.
Yep.
I'm gonna go Josh Hart though. I think he's a more proven. Anthony Simons has the higher upside at that, but
yep,
I like Josh Hart.
I don't hate it. He's a nice ball player. All right, last award, MVP. You can go ahead with yours if you got one.
That's gonna be tough because I'll give you 2. I'll give you probably my safe pick, and then one that I think it's probably going to be your pick. But I think one, high upside. If all works out, if he has this breakout season, it could work. I can see Shea going back to back.
Yep.
But I think Wemby could potentially be MVP.
Okay.
If all works out, he breaks out. I mean, that game 1, we were talking about it before we hopped on the show. He was playing like a guard at 7'6", bro.
Yeah.
The one thing that he needed to work on was his post moves and his jumper, and
Cash
is just unstoppable.
16 of 21 shooting.
Unstoppable. If he's able to stay healthy and he's able to put a whole season together,
Right.
good luck.
Right. He was healthy last year.
Yeah.
Here's my thing with Wemby that makes it like the deeper you go into it, the more impressive it is. It's not just the 40 and 15. It's also 2 steals and 4 blocks. It's also the fact that he had 6 assists and he was playmaking. It's perimeter. It's in transition. And then you think it's on the road in the season opener. You have the number 2 pick in the draft on your team. You have the former rookie of the year on your team. All guys that are getting eyeballs. And you were playing against arguably the best person equipped in basketball to defend you. 40 and 15, 6 assists on your head. Like, it was disgusting. I watched the game from opening to close. He was bullying Anthony. It wasn't even, like, close. Like, we're talking bullying like Luka to the Suns a couple years ago in Game 7. Yeah. Like, just pouring it on.
Like,
no
LeBron.
fear. Yeah, LeBronto, dude. Like, fade away, push shot off the glass at the buzzer. Like, it was, dude, Anthony Davis looked like a little bitch.
Yeah.
He did not want anything to do with Wemby. There's some other defenders that I think will have an opportunity to do something against him. I think of a guy like, obviously, Draymond, who kind of is the name you throw out there when, like, how do you defend this player? You put Draymond on him. Draymond's an interesting one. And then guys that can get up underneath Wemby, I think would be really good too. Like a Bruce Brown or something like that. Tumani Kamara, guys that can get under the frame. I mean, we've seen with guys, I mean, Wemby, I think this might be a really controversial statement, but he might have a better skill set than Kevin Durant. And you look at how Kevin Durant has been defended. It kind of fucks with his jump shot when he's played close to the vest and up underneath his frame. I think that might be a way to try to stop Wemby, but the problem is, like, he's so big that he doesn't need to jump to get his shot off. Like, if you have a 6'5", 6'6" small guy working on his frame, think about it. When he's crouching, he's probably 6'2", 6'3". Wemby standing and like with his hand up is like 8.5 feet tall. He can just literally sit it in the hoop.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what the answer is for him.
It's so unfair.
If it's not Anthony Davis, it's probably Draymond Green, who's the best equipped person to defend him. And if that's what he's doing against the strength of the Mavericks, the strength of the Mavericks is their depth and their size at center. They've got Derek Lively, Daniel Gafford, Anthony Davis, all these guys. Yeah. PJ Washington, who's a really good defender. Like, they've got a mix of guys they can throw at him, and it was just bucket after bucket, no contest, just pure dominance. I've honestly never seen anything like that. That was just crazy to me. Yeah, I think if he can keep it together, you're probably right. It's just a matter of health. Are they going to restrict any of his minutes? Are they going to be good? Are they going to be good enough? Because they don't really have another star on that team. I mean, I don't know when De'Aaron Fox is coming back. Probably not for a little while.
Yeah. I think it's going to be about a month into the season. But yeah, dude, I'm very high on Wemby.
Yeah, me too. He's really good. He's actually my runner-up, my dark horse, actually, because I still consider him a dark horse because I think a lot of things need to go right that he can't necessarily control. Yeah. I mean, this is a first-year head coach. I mean, he was an interim last year for Greg Popovich, but his first-year head coach. He doesn't have another all-star on his team outside of De'Aaron Fox, who we don't know how much he's going to play. Like, they need to get off to a really good start here. So yeah, there's that. That's kind of my situation. But my winner, I don't necessarily think that this is a hot take. I think it's going to be Anthony Edwards. I like Anthony Edwards this year. You look at their roster. There's no one on that team that's going to take buckets away from him whatsoever. Right now, I mean, the only players on that team that might disrupt that a little bit is if Julius Randle's just shot chucking. But even then, one guy shot chucking is not going to disrupt Anthony Edwards' rhythm. He's 24. He's getting a little older to where he's kind of fully growing into his body. He's now going into, I think, year 5. And I like the roster around them, dude. I mean, Dante DiVincenzo is such a nice, like, side piece of a guard, defensive guy, rebounds it, can swing the ball. I mean, he was really good with the Knicks. And then they have the veteran leadership in the bench. They have Mike Conley there. And then obviously their starting lineup's nice. I like Jaden Daniels, Julius Randle, Joe Ingles off the bench, and then Nasrid and Gobert is two of the best center combos in the league. I think this is going to be his show. The question is, how much are they going to win? I think they have a better roster than the Spurs do. And I think if they're a top 4 seed with 55 wins, I don't know how he's not the MVP. I mean, because he's going to score 30 a night for sure. And one of the biggest things that helps you with your MVP case is story. What's the story of the season? For Jokic in his first MVP, it was triple doubles. For Giannis, it was, oh my God, he can take 2 steps from the 3-point line and dunk it. There's always a storyline there. Steph, it was chasing 400 threes in a season. And he became unanimous. Like, there's always something. Anthony Edwards is a player that's always in the headlines, not for doing anything bad other than sleeping with women, not fathering the children. Like, he's not a guy that necessarily does anything bad. He's just always in the headlines because he's got some funny shit to say or he's talking shit. Like, it's very another banger take. He's the Odell Beckham of the NBA. Just dominant guy, chain hanging low, knows he's great, shit talks, kind of explodes a little bit too often, like with his temper, but it kind of works for him. And it can single-handedly win you a game. Like, I love Anthony Edwards this year. I think there will be a little bit of voters fatigue with Shea because there's the talk about the free throws and all that kind of thing that kind of irritates some people. And obviously, like, Jokic is always in the conversation. I just saw a stat. Jokic has been top 2 in voting 5 years in a row. That's insane. So yeah, that's where I'm at with it. I like Anthony Edwards. I think he's going to be dominant this season. It's the perfect situation because they're kind of flying under the radar with some of these teams we have. Everyone's talking about KD on the Rockets and the defending champs and the Knicks with their new coach. Like, no one's really talking about Anthony Edwards and the Timberwolves. So that's my MVP. Yeah,
I like it. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So
he's a bit of an underappreciated star too.
Right. Like, and I was listening. He had an interview with Shams or whatever where he was like talking about how, like, they were talking about trades and like how things went down and all that kind of thing. And Anthony Edwards said to Shams, he's like, bro, if you don't call me when you find out I'm getting traded, we're not friends no more. Like, it's very. There's a famous clip of MJ. I think they were probably at like a hotel or maybe on vacation or something, and like someone at the desk was saying, like, they were talking about like who's taking the last shot in a game, and like when Michael was walking by and they knew what the answer was going to be, they were like, "Yo, Michael, last second of the game, who's taking the shot?" He looks at the guy and goes, "Me."
Yeah,
fuck me. That is exactly the attitude that Anthony Edwards has, and it's kind of a lost art in today's NBA. So, yeah, I just think he's got the right attitude for it. I think it's the right roster. I don't think there's much drama on this team. They're very under the radar. It's the perfect situation for him to win an MVP.
Yeah, I like it.
Yep. Have you thought about your finals matchup?
I think OKC can get back.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'll probably pick them out of the West. Out of the East that's a bit more of a question mark. I mean, you got a bunch of different teams there. I mean, we don't really know what Boston's going to be without Jason Tatum and if coming back, because there is also that looming of he may be back late in the season for a playoff run.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much I buy that.
Right.
But even, seeding wise, are they going to be a top seed in the East?
Yeah.
I think Orlando, the Knicks. I think potentially, the Cavs.
Yeah.
I think the Sixers potentially, if everything goes well, could be in that conversation. Obviously, it's all health,
Right.
but I think I'm going to go Thunder Orlando.
Okay. I like that. Thunder Orlando, who's your winner?
Thunder.
Okay. You got them repeating. So I'll give you, I have Eastern Conference, Western Conference, and then my finals.
Mm-hmm.
In the Eastern Conference, I have the Knicks defeating the Magic in 6 games, so winning 4-2.
Yeah. That'd probably
but-
be my Eastern Conference too.
Right. So to talk about the Magic for a second, they're another team that I think is just, they're so much fun. And I love that they brought back the throwback jerseys as their staple. Like they are the Magic of old now. Their starting lineup is so much fun, dude. I think they beat the Heat. Paolo Banchero, Franz Wagner, Wendell Carter, Desmond Bane, Jalen Suggs. That is awesome. And then their bench is Tyus Jones, Anthony Black, Gogo Badatse, and Jonathan Isaac. This team is awesome. It's so much fun. They're so lengthy. They're strong defensively. All these guys can one-on-one create. The only issue that they have is I think they need to go out and find a playmaking guard to start over Jalen Suggs and move him to the bench. Jalen Suggs, because you can start him when you need defense, because you can't start Paolo Banchero at the center. If you want to, you can, but defensively you'll take a fall off. All 5 of these guys are so good, but you'll have to sacrifice one. I think you bring in a point guard that can play make and move Suggs to the bench, because the problem that this team's going to have is they're going to ISO ball way too much. And if they're not getting in the rhythm of the game, it's going to, in the half court, it's going to be a problem, and in transition especially too. So that's my only issue with that team, but I just think they've got so many dogs. It's kind of similar to the Warriors when they had KD, in a way of there's a couple ways they can beat you, but you always have Steph's going to go one-on-one, and then next possession KD is going to go one-on-one, and then it's back to Steph, and then he's going to do it again. They can do that Franz, Paolo, Bane, just over and over and over, and it'll work. So yeah, I like that. But I do have the Knicks beating them. I just think they're too good. And I think the Mike Brown hiring is going to make a difference. I mean, Mike Brown is a championship coach. He was an assistant coach under Steve Kerr for all the titles. And I thought what he did with the Kings, it was good work. So Western Conference, I actually have the Nuggets defeating the Wolves in 7 games.
Okay.
I think again, Anthony Edwards is going to come off of an MVP caliber year. I think that's part of the reason. But Denver, I mean, I know that they're considered a favorite, but I don't think people necessarily understand just how good they are right now. I love their roster. Jamal Murray, point guard. You have a combination of Bruce Brown and Christian Brown. Tim Hardaway Jr. as your backup guards. Their forwards are fun. They got Cam Johnson that brought in this year. That's a good player. Zeke Najee's nice for them. Obviously Aaron Gordon. But for me, the big thing is I think the Jonas Valanciunas backup center pull that they've got is going to be one of the most underrated pickups of the season. Because he's a baby Jokic. Now, he's not quite the playmaker, but in terms of block shots, push the court, shoot threes, kind of the do-it-all offensive center, he kind of fits that mold pretty well, especially if you still have Jamal Murray on the court.
Yeah.
So I think adding him in there, they're not going to lose a lot of offensive output when Jokic is off the field. I mean, off the court. There's always a little bit of a drop-off, but I think that's a huge pickup. So yeah, that's what I'm going with. I'm taking Nuggets over Wolves. And then in the finals, I have the Nuggets winning in 7 against the Knicks, with Jokic winning his second finals MVP. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at right now. I don't think it's going to change. I think that's going to be my locked-in finals pick for the year.
Okay.
And your Thunder Magic. I like Thunder Magic. It's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Cool. That was our NBA awards. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe down below. We appreciate y'all for watching. See y'all later. Just in case.
It's going to be hard to clip that 45-minute segment.
Oh yeah, that's true. I didn't really realize that.
But hey, drop a like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff.
Yeah, right. I'm here for it.
Let's swift. Swift gears.
Swift
Shift
gears,
gears.
yeah. Yep.
I don't know why I can't speak tonight.
You're fine, bro. That's all right. I'm talking a lot. I can't shut up tonight.
You carrying the program. It's all good though. Let's shift gears into football. What a week. Anything jump out at you?
I think I'm ready to say I think the Colts are legit. I know we've been hinting at it. Like all these last couple of weeks, like, well, yeah, they kind of have to do this. They kind of have to do this. I think I'm very convinced with that win that they had over the Chargers. Like the Chargers, like, say what you want, they kind of fall on their face every once in a while, but they're an above average team. I think we all agree on that. Like
they're a playoff team in the AFC for sure.
Yeah. And they
just dominated them. They absolutely dominated.
It wasn't even close, dude.
Yeah. And I sat up here last week and was like, listen, I don't want to go as far as to say they're legit, but one more game that they really, dominate, they're legit. And sure enough, another great performance by Jonathan Taylor. Daniel Jones looked good. They are, yeah. Who would have thunk it, bro? Daniel Jones and the Indianapolis Colts being, Super Bowl favorites.
Do you think they're legit contenders? Like, can you see them?
Yeah.
If you close your eyes, can you see the Colts in the Super Bowl?
I can definitely see them in the AFC Championship. I don't know if I can go so far as to say Super Bowl, but if like I said, this is always my thing with these teams. If they're able to translate this type of play into December in January, yeah, I can see it. But I can see them, being, number one seed, hosting a playoff game, and at that point, you only just need to win 2, and then you're in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
I think that's probably what happens with the Colts. I think they are probably on track to be the number one seed. We just gotta see it. And like I said about the Packers in September and the Bucs early October, do you think the Colts are playing their best ball right now?
No, I don't think they are. Like, I think Jonathan Taylor's playing the best football of his life. But we've seen him perform like this for a full period. He's won an Offensive Player of the Year before.
Yeah.
And to win an award like that, you have to do it for a full season. And he's having a very similar year. I don't think the total yardage is there, but he's, I think, leading the league in rushing touchdowns by like 3, and we're not even halfway there. And the other part of it is too, like, they're not winning these games with an air raid system where, like, they're necessarily relying on Daniel Jones. They are running the football to set up the pass. Yeah. And that translates in the snow, that translates in the rain, that translates in the warmth, and it translates in the cold.
Yeah. I mean, look at us last year.
Right.
One first to set up the pass, it won us the Super Bowl. So the formula is there as long as you can put the players around. But yeah, I would probably agree with you there. I do think, they still have a little bit, left to be desired.
Yeah.
But they are playing really good football.
Yeah. Defensively, I still think they have the work to do defensively. I think their pass rush is there.
Yeah.
I just think they've got to make a few adjustments in that secondary and they'll be fine. Like, if they can make a move for maybe a second corner or a third corner or something like that, like a guy that's just trying to get out of his team, or maybe even like a second or maybe even like a second receiver. Because, like, I like Alec Pierce, but to rely on him for like 8 targets a night is probably kind of tough. Like, I think if they go out and look for a guy like Rashid Shaheed, that's like, on a team that's losing, or even like a Chris Olave, if they want to go like a bigger target route. But Michael Pittman's like a serviceable number 1. And they don't need like a certified 1 when they have Tyler Warren playing the way he's playing. Like, he's been awesome. He might be, if you took like the top running backs out of it, he's probably the Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think they're legit, and I think they've still got some things to do. The only concern is, like, I don't think it's necessarily that I can't see them in the Super Bowl. It's just like, in the AFC Championship game, whether that they're at home or on the road, can you say, Daniel Jones, I need you to go play a game that's 80%, 90% of what Josh Allen's going to do? Or 80%, 90% of what Pat's going to do? I don't know. Like, asking him to allow the run to set up the pass and not turn it over. He's not necessarily game managing. He's still slinging it. Like, this isn't him getting carried. Yeah. But again, like, when they have to have it, is he going to be able to do it? That's the question. Yeah. And the way he's slinging it, he might prove us all wrong. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, they're playing their asses off right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, I think Kansas City's all the way back. They are all the way back.
Yeah, they're humming. They're definitely back, I'd say.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be easy in the AFC West. I mean, the Chargers, right now they're putting belt on the Vikings, and they've had a really good season. The Broncos are obviously having a good season. So the competition's there. Obviously, it's all tight at the top of the division, but yeah, the Chiefs are back.
Yeah,
it was funny. The first 2 weeks this season were like, are they cooked?
Yeah,
just wait till they get their weapons back, and now they got their weapons back, and then we kind of see, okay, they're fine.
Yeah, I would say, like, and the only issue that they have is consistent run game. Like, I think they need to address that, but their offensive line is playing like a top unit. Travis Kelce is turning back the clock. He's playing probably as good as he did maybe 3 years ago. He's definitely been better than the last 2 years.
Yeah. Mahomes is playing as good as he's played as well.
Right. Like, this is probably the best start to a Mahomes season since the first Super Bowl where he won the MVP.
Mm-hmm.
And he's the certified favorite to win it. I think that's fair. I know they're only 4-3, but like the way he's played the last 3 weeks to turn it around. I mean, they're 4-0 in their last 4. And he's been awesome. Again, I still put Baker up there. But he hasn't had as bad of a game as Baker did the other night.
Yeah.
But yeah, and also Pat is still their leading rusher. So like there's that too. And then I really do think that this receiver core is gonna quickly become a top 5 unit. Like if Rashee Rice, like he basically picked up right where he left off. You add in the deep threat of Tyquan Thornton. Say what you want about him, but like as a 4th receiver, like there's probably not as good of a deep threat at receiver 4 than him. Xavier Worthy and then Hollywood Brown, like those 3, bro. That's tough.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how you defend that when you have Travis Kelce playing the way he is, Patrick Mahomes delivering the ball. Their defense is finally getting it up. I mean, to shut out any team is impressive. I know it was the Raiders, but like they held them to less than 100 yards of total offense. That's insane. Ashton Genty had 21 rushes. 21 yards. Geno Smith had 67 passing yards.
Wild.
95 total yards if you don't bake in sacks. So they had more yards from kick return than they did offensively. So yeah, that's disgusting. I would argue they're back. They've got another home game against a little bit better of an opponent. We'll see what that turns into. They play Washington, so you know what I mean. I still think they're going to win, but yeah, that I think the Chiefs are back, and we'll talk more about them once they have a tough matchup. Because they play the Bills next week. So
yeah.
Any other games you want to talk about?
Just Carson Wentz looks like he just got hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of Carson Wentz, Eagles got back on track last weekend with the dub in Minnesota. Jalen Hurts had a field day. 326 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, 83% completion percentage, and a perfect passer rating. This was probably his best regular season passing game
of his career. I think this is the second best game he's ever played next to the Super Bowl.
I disagree. I think this is probably like 3rd or 4th. Because both Super Bowls and the NFC Championship last year were his 3 best by far.
Okay, that's fair.
But yeah, everybody's saying, he can't throw the freaking football. Pretty good for a running back to have a perfect passer rating and over 300 yards passing. I said it. He's an elite quarterback.
Yep.
Devontae Smith had an absolute field day, career high in receiving yards.
Yep.
AJ Brown, 2 touchdowns. I mean, the offense looked a lot better. And I mean, they said it. They said it was gonna be better.
Yep.
The run game's still kind of it's frustrating to watch. But again, it's hand in hand. We've said it throughout the season. From the play calls, the situational play calls to the offensive line execution, it's just not there. And it's not like Saquon's washed. It's just like he hands the ball off and he's already getting hit behind the line of scrimmage. Like he's just nothing that he can do. It's not a Saquon Barkley issue. It's a scheme / offensive line execution issue. We'll see. I'm hoping that it looks a lot better out of the bye week, but clearly the identity of this team is, set up the pass to set up the run and or deep shot down the field, which, hey, it's fine with me. The adjustment that I liked the most was Jalen Hurts under center a lot more.
Yep.
Because with that, obviously, the threat of Saquon Barkley, you utilize the play action pass, which is where Jalen's his best, and you see perfect passer rating. Mm-hmm. So I really liked that. I just hope we continue to do that, and then obviously get the run game going a little bit more, just to kind of keep defenses honest. Defensively, again, we had our moments. Making Carson Wentz look like Carson Wentz, but also, very bend but don't break, which can be frustrating, knowing what this defense has looked like before. But, the red zone defense was on point, which was very promising, and, reminded all of us Eagles fans that, this is what Carson Wentz did to us when he was our quarterback. Like every game you watch, they go down 2 scores. Carson Wentz claws back a little bit, and then just like shit hits the fan, and you lose a heartbreaker. Felt good to be on the other side. But, all in all, I think, good win to get back on the win column and build some momentum into this Giants game. BG unretired.
Yep.
Which, I don't know. We'll get your thoughts on that, but I think at first I was pretty I had mixed emotions. I was pretty in the middle, because on one hand, obviously he is one of, if not the greatest Eagles of all time, storybook ending last year, but we need the edge help, and he was really, really productive last year before he got hurt.
Yep.
And I do think he still has a little bit in the tank. It's just going to take some time for him to get up to speed, but we need him. We absolutely need him. And I don't think he wanted to retire. I firmly stand on that. But I'm happy that he's back, and we're getting healthy at the right time. Some of the practice windows have opened for guys. I mean, Nakobe Dean came back last week. Ja'Cory Bennett's practice window open this week. Nolan Smith should be back after the bye. Like we're getting our guys back right at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
So I think as a team, we're right where we need to be. Looking at the landscape, obviously things at the top are very tight between, Eagles, Bucks, Lions, Niners, Rams. It's tight up there for that number 1 seed, but I think that the Eagles are in a good spot. We got some of these big games down the line with,
right.
Lions, Packers. So we'll see kind of how it goes, but I like where we're at, bro. I like where we're at. We just need to keep doing the under center play action, get the run game going. It's there. It's just not there consistently.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the BG situation, I think it's better for the locker room more than it is for on-field play, to be honest with you. He is an old player. He was productive. He's only coming off 3.5 sacks last season. So like certified pass rush. I don't know how much he's bringing this team. If anything, he's giving your starters a breather. That's kind of like, I think, what he's being brought in for, but it's absolutely a locker room type of situation, I think, too. I would bet that's what motivated him to come back more than anything. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I think it's impactful in ways that aren't necessarily football related. So that's where I stand on it. I mean, I think it's definitely an addition. I mean, Brandon Graham, like you said, he's been a consistent good player. Has he ever made a Pro Bowl?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's been a Pro Bowler.
Because he's only had more than 10 sacks once in his career.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But two-time Super Bowl champ.
He does other things great. So,
yeah.
Okay.
I still think he has a little bit left in the tank. It's just going to probably take us a little bit to see him get some meaningful snaps. Although this week, we'll see. I mean, we are thin, so he's probably going to have to get a little bit of run.
Yeah. Yeah, you're probably right.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, like I said, I think we're in a good spot.
Yeah. Last game I want to just touch on really quick, the London game this past week. Rams going over to London to take on the Jags. Someone said a take. I was scrolling through Twitter and I read it somewhere. People are saying that this season is the season that's guaranteeing Matt Stafford a Hall of Fame nod. Because he's playing some of the best ball of his career right now. I mean, this past weekend it was only 182 passing yards, but it was for 5 touchdowns. And they didn't run the ball well. This was just kind of a situation where they had good field position most of the game. They were returning kicks pretty well, things like that. So, and the punting wasn't very good for the Jags either. Him and Devontae Adams looked really fun. Like Devontae Adams himself proved that like he can do it as long as he's got a quarterback that knows where to put it. Because Devontae Adams isn't necessarily, he's not an over the top like beater. He's a aggressive, like a possession type receiver. But he's not necessarily beating down the field. His route tree is not as crisp as it used to be. But one thing that he's probably still better at than anyone else in the league is positioning. He just knows how to get himself into a spot where if the ball's there, the only thing between the ball and his hands is air. Like he could have a corner draped all over him. He will just position himself just the right way to make a catch. And he did it three times this past week without Puka being there. That showed me a lot for the Rams to go in there without arguably, probably a top 3 receiver in football. To go out there, 7 sacks, the travel, Matt Stafford played the way he did. They really certified themselves as a top NFC contender for sure. They're 5-2. They beat another playoff level team. Trevor Lawrence was under 50% completion. Yeah. What are your thoughts on this game? Did you watch much of it? What did you think?
I saw a little bit of it. I definitely agree. It was kind of disappointing from the Jaguars standpoint. Just because they've been playing pretty good ball, and the Rams, they've been in some close games, and you would have thought that maybe this would be another one of those games. But Matt Stafford absolutely had a masterclass.
Right.
Smitty and I had that question. The offense is very Puka-centric. Without him, what does it look like?
Yep.
It didn't matter. It really didn't matter. It was Devontae Adams-centric, and you had the absolute same result.
Yeah.
We've said, the Rams are probably one of those top teams in the NFC. They reinforced that against the Jags. And yeah, Matt Stafford's definitely having close to a career year, if not the year, which is crazy at his age. To be doing what he's doing is impressive. But yeah, it all comes down to January football.
Yep. And we've seen it. He's a guy that he's the reason why the Rams are scary is because they can beat anybody because of what they have at quarterback.
Yeah.
Like it's he's not quite Pat and Josh Allen, but it's still like, oh God, we've got the Bills, we've got the Chiefs, we've got Sean McVay and Matt Stafford. Like, that is not a team you want to play in the playoffs when they're healthy. And they just haven't been that the last couple of years going into the playoffs. If they go into the playoffs healthy, I don't think they'll beat the Eagles. But I'm not happy to play them if I'm the Eagles. So that's kind of where I stand with them. I think they're great. And if he can take them on another run this season, I mean, the sky's the limit. I think he is a Hall of Famer as it sits. I mean, you look at his numbers. He's won a Super Bowl. I don't think that's much up for debate, but like, it's not like he's 100% guaranteed. There's still a little bit left to do. So, all right. Should we get into these picks?
Yeah, bro. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. All right. Let's see how we can. That'll work. Unless that fits. Perfect. All right.
There you go.
So, first game here. Obviously, that's happening right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we ran.
I'm going to tell you already. I know it's happening right now, but I would have picked the Chargers regardless.
I would have too. I don't like how the Vikings are playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Carson Wentz, the Carson Wentz experience, more down than up. And I think, with the way that the Chargers have been playing, is that a Ladd McConkey touchdown?
It is. Yeah, deep ball.
Hell yeah, bro. I just started him in fantasy too.
Let's go, dude.
With the way that the Vikings have been playing offensively just hasn't been promising.
No.
And the Chargers have been, they might not be the top team in the AFC, but they've taken a step forward as a quality playoff contender.
Right.
And this is just one of those like mismatch games where the Chargers will show exactly who they are. And we're seeing it now. They just went up 21-3.
Yeah.
So I would have took them anyway, but yeah, Chargers all day.
Yeah. I think they're a top 10 team in the league. I think they're right around that 10 mark. That's kind of where they are. I think they've got potential to play as a top 5 team any given week. And I think they're doing that right now. Cause like, say what you want about Minnesota's offense. Every single week they bring a great defense because Brian Flores and that roster that they have, sometimes they get beat, but so does every defense. I think every week they've got a good defense, and for the Chargers to be doing what they're doing, it's impressive. And he's coming, Justin Herbert, you see the stats there, he's coming off of 420 yards. So
yeah.
And now he's already got,
and that wasn't a loss too.
Right. Yeah. Like he's coming off of a big game.
With 2 picks, though.
Yeah, I mean, well, you throw the ball 420 times. I mean, 420 yards, you're going to probably throw a pick. Like that's what lost in the game was the 2 picks. But I don't think that was all game that he was balling like that. It wasn't just.
Yeah. So it's fair to say that the Victoria's Secret shoot maybe got to him a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I wouldn't be focused either. I
look, I was thinking it last week. It's like when you're out in Vietnam and you got the Polaroid picture of the missus. What's your motivation to win war, come back home?
Yeah.
Justin Herbert didn't think about it that way though.
No, Justin Herbert to Madison Beer is Kyler Murray to Call of Duty.
So. Yeah.
All right. Game 2, Sunday. Shout out Carolina for making a graphic, being at 4-3.
Hell yeah, bro! This is the first time that they've made the graphic. It probably might be the last. We'll see how this shit goes.
Yeah, it might. We'll see. Mm-hmm. Just because they lose this week doesn't mean they may not reel off 2 and then have another game against a above 500 team at 6-4.
Yeah.
All right, Buffalo going into Carolina. I would imagine Buffalo's a pretty handsome favorite here.
Yeah. The 2-2-2 line, 222 total yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions for Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Week 6, the last time that they played that Monday night stinker in Atlanta.
Yeah, and Derek Brown had arguably probably one of the best defensive performances last week. 7 tackles, 2 TFLs, and 3 PBUs. Those are big coming from defensive tackles because that's coming at the line of scrimmage. The Bills, as of right now, are 7.5-point favorites, so a little over a touchdown. I don't know about you, bro, but I'd take it if it's -10.5. I'd take if it's probably minus 13.5. I might be enticed at minus 17.5. This kind of seems like a situation where the Bills win like 38-10, one of those games, you know?
Yeah.
It's crazy to predict a game like that, but like this is the kind of teams that they beat up like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I will say the Panthers have been playing very well, but I'm right there with you. I think I'm probably going to side with Buffalo. They've had a rough stretch. You know, the Buffalo Bills have not looked as good as, you know, they have in recent years.
Yep.
But I think they'll probably do enough to win this game here. And yeah, I can totally see them, you know, off a bye week, you know, doing what they got to do to get a win.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you on that. It's going to be a comfortable win, I think. I do think Carolina is actually pretty good. I think Tet, they're now that Rico Dowdle's kind of exploded onto the scene a little bit. They've got a nice 1-2 punch there. They played well how they ran them last week. The running back by committee. That tells me their offensive line's good if they're running for, you know, almost 200 yards, like, you know, back-to-back weeks, the Jay Ajayi type stat. Like they're a solid team, and I like some of the defensive players that they have. It's just, you know, they're walking in, they're playing one of the best, so it's just not going to happen for them. I'm going to take Buffalo, of course.
Yeah.
Probably my most anticipated matchup of the week. I like this match big time. Dallas going into Denver. Denver being 5-2, after pulling off one of the best comebacks I've ever seen.
I've never seen a game like that in my life.
33 points in the fourth quarter after being shut out in the first three. That is the most points ever scored in the fourth quarter after being shut out in the first three quarters. So, yeah, shout out to Denver. And then obviously Dallas 3-1. They had that tie. Dak's having his best career. I mean, his best year of his career. It's comfortable adversity he's playing well through. Like, it's not stat padding. This is just pure Dak slinging that thing. And it's not like he's getting carried by a running game or anything, because, I mean, Javonte Williams has had a resurgence of a season, but I don't think he's been a top 10 back. It's just, and with CeeDee Lamb in and out of the lineup, like, it's been pretty dominant from Dak. Let me get the line here. We're looking at,
I would assume Denver's favored.
Denver's favored by 3.5 as it sits.
This is tough because, like you said, I mean, they've been playing really good ball. But Dallas, like, they've kind of beaten up on some pretty bad and, you know, hurt teams.
A little bit.
So I don't know. Denver too is pretty questionable in my opinion. I think I'm gonna go Denver at home.
All right. I don't hate it. I'm gonna take Dallas here. Main reason is, like I've said in multiple weeks, Dallas is kind of playing with house money right now. They've got very limited expectations, and the combo of George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb, even if they have Pat Surtain, is going to be tough. Jake Ferguson's having a career season, and they're running the ball really well. Denver had a great comeback, yes, but should they have been down 20-some points to the Giants? Probably not. That's just not that to me tells me that they're just inconsistent, and I think that sparks from quarterback. I think Bo Nix is really good. I think he's got talent to have, like, you know, the best week any given week. It's just I think Dak's playing better ball. I think Dallas is actually playing better football right now, more sound football. And I'll take them to get a win on the road here.
An upset win.
I think
they're playing sound football. I think Denver probably just, they can find ways to win, in my opinion, better than Dallas.
My only worry with Denver against Dallas is that their pass rush is fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
I don't know what that shit No, sorry, Smitty, and not to dance on you right now, but like I don't know what Smitty was saying a couple of weeks ago when you guys were playing him about how they only beat up against bad offensive lines, and then they went and had 7 sacks against you guys, and then they had 7 sacks the following week, and they had 5 sacks last week. They're leading the league in sacks by like 15. Like they're on they're on pace to break the record by like 15 sacks.
Yeah. I mean, I said it. It was like, this is one of the best pass rushing units in the league, and it's not like you said, not to dance on Smitty, but I give too much respect. But I give credit where credit's due. Like, I know I have my homerism in me, but like when I gotta keep it all the way 100, I will keep it 100.
Right. Yeah.
And you know that.
I know that. I ain't call you out on nothing. All right. Let's move on. Green Bay at Pitt. I like this matchup a lot. Rodgers, a little bit of a revenge game here for Green Bay. He just talked about in an interview earlier this week that he wants to retire with the Packers. And then, of course, Twitter blowing up because they don't know what the hell they're talking about Rodgers wants to go back to the Packers and play his final season there. No, he just wants
his final season.
He wants to sign for a day and retire there. That's what he wants to do.
Right.
This is Sunday Night Football. It's exciting. Both teams 4 wins. Also, interesting fact, this is the first time in I think they said 30 some years where the 2 through 7 seed have 5 wins and the number 1 seed is only 4. Because the Packers are the number 1 seed right now.
Because of the tie. Interesting.
Right. Yeah. And then obviously the Steelers are 4-2, leading their division. Josh Jacobs last week, 2 tuds. Aaron Rodgers in the Unk Bowl played really well. 1 pick was bad. The other pick was not his fault.
Yeah. Him and Joe Flacco were hooping. They were having an unk off. Yeah,
they were having an unk off. The unction.
That was the real unction.
No lie. So I would imagine, Green Bay's favored by 3 points here.
I think I'm going to take Aaron Rodgers in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
I think I'm going to take the points. I like the home field. I like, he's probably got some juice for this game. And, I think the issue was what I'm going to be looking at in this game is probably the Pittsburgh secondary versus that passing attack.
Yep.
Against Jordan Love, because I'm not going to lie, it hasn't been great. That Pittsburgh secondary that we were like, oh my God, this is like the best unit in football outside of Baltimore. Even them too. It's like, oh my God, these 2 teams on paper, these units are unbelievable. They really haven't put it together.
No.
So that's going to be a point of emphasis in this game. I think if Green Bay is able to exploit that, they probably win. But if the secondary is able to hold up enough, and Aaron Rodgers is absolutely hooping, and he will be against his former team straight off the unction.
Yep.
Unk off. I'm going to go with the upset watch.
Okay, I like it. I'm going to go with Green Bay here. They have one of the most underrated offensive lines of football. Zach Tom at tackle, he's nice. They've got a good unit up front. And the Steelers have not. The defense, I think, at some point will be playing top 10 ball. They're just not right now. I think they're too slow at corner. And their pass rush just isn't getting after it. TJ Watt's been playing well, obviously, but not to the level that he usually does. Alex Highsmith has been a non-factor so far this season. And so I don't quite believe in that Steelers team enough yet to say that they can beat the Packers. Because you're right, for all the points you said, I think their passing attack is going to be working really well against the Steelers. And I think the Steelers aren't going to be able to get after the passer because their offensive line's so good. So I think it's really going to come down to the running backs, and I think I'll take Josh Jacobs over anything that the Steelers have right now. And it'll be a close game. It'll be a competitive game. 3 points is kind of I would have liked it more at 2.5. But I'll just take the Packers. I think as of right now they're the better team. And I think it's going to take I think it's going to take more of an average game by the Packers can beat the Steelers, but I don't think an average Steelers game can beat the Packers.
That's fair.
That's kind of where I'm at. So I'm going to take Green Bay.
Okay.
Last
I can see
one
it going either way. But
yeah, for real. Last one here, we have Washington at Kansas City. I put this game on here before Jaden Daniels was ruled out. So it is Marcus Mariota, so that might help the picking. It
wasn't going to help the picking for me.
Yeah,
picking the Chiefs.
Yeah, the Chiefs
Washington is cooked.
11.5.
Season over 11.5.
11.5.
14.5.
Yeah.
Washington season is over.
Yep.
They are cooked. The unction is fried. It's over.
Yep.
The false prophets. Left hand up. Who are we? The Bumanders. It's Jover.
Man.
The Cowboys dug the hole. The Chiefs are about to kick the body in the hole and shovel the dirt on.
There you
give
go.
it a little pat.
There you go.
Chiefs are going to win.
Yep.
And I know that you also have the Chiefs.
Of course I do. Yeah. I would have had the Chiefs.
Why'd you have to do us dirty this week and not have Jalen Hurts' perfect passer rating on the graphic?
Well, it wouldn't, like I said in our text, I would not have, to let you guys in on a little something, it wouldn't have been Jalen. It would have been Devontae's career game, and then it would have been A.J. Brown, and then it would have been Josh Uche with his first sack.
No Jalen Hunt for the pick six?
Nah, because he did nothing as a pass rusher. So.
It's pure Jalen hate.
No,
guess what? You put Devontae and AJ on the graphic. Who's throwing them the ball?
Might as well be anybody with how talented they are. No. I like that game because I thought Jaden would end up playing, but
Yeah.
What
do you think about our game against the Giants though?
Are you guys at home?
We're at home. Kelly Green game.
That's a win.
I agree.
Probably a comfortable win. I don't see the Giants keeping it close twice against you guys. That's the only thing, because they beat you once, right? So
yeah. And they dominated once.
Yeah, I just can't see that happening again.
Yeah.
They're not necessarily coming back down to earth because they're still playing good ball. I mean, they played
at 2-5. Yeah,
they're playing good ball at 2-5. Like
it's crazy to say, but
it is. Yeah, I think they're playing better ball than the Commanders are playing.
Yeah,
they're playing better ball than most teams that have a better record than them. That's
they just find ways to lose.
Yeah, they do.
There was no reason they should have lost that game. It was funny. And shout out to the missus, her dad, big Giants fan. We watched that game at the family dinner. He had it on. And I remember it. We were literally at the table when they went for two. Like, I forget. It was probably just like 9:08 in the third quarter or something like that. They went for two. They didn't get it. And he just sat there and was like, they need to stop chasing points. They're going to lose this game by 1. And they were up like 20.
Yep.
Sure enough, Denver came back. Giants lost by 1. Could not have wrote it any better.
First time in NFL history that a team lost by 1 point and the kicker missed 2 extra points. First time that ever happened. That kicker got fired on Monday.
Of course he did.
So that's tough. Like,
between that and the missed 2-point conversion, I mean, that's a field goal off the board.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And again, say what you want, but I think the Giants are playing good ball. It's either they dominate and look really comfortable, or they dominate and they fall apart. Like they've played really good football, like probably 75% of the season. It's just that 25% has come at the worst possible time.
Yeah.
So, yep.
Yeah. I think we put BTA, and I'll be in attendance, so they will put BTA.
Yeah, I think so too. We don't know I don't know what the hell's going on with the Jets, dude. Like, they're not even. Aaron Glenn thinks it's going to give us a competitive edge to not say who our starting quarterback is.
But even though y'all said it's Tyrod Taylor, right?
The owner, Woody Johnson, said it's going to be Tyrod because Justin Fields can't complete a pass. Literally said that. That is word for word. He said that quarterback cannot complete a pass.
Shout out to Woody Johnson. He must be watching the program because he's got the same agenda as you.
And he's not wrong, and neither am I. That's the thing, man. Like it's just not good. But that's just kind of what we have to deal with. But yeah, to not give out who our starting quarterback is because it's going to give us a competitive edge. Ooh, you're not gonna tell us you're gonna play Justin Fields and he's gonna throw for 40 yards and that's it for the whole game. Like, thank you.
That's some Nick Sirianni shit right there,
dude. It's so dumb. Like, I get it, but like, we're not good, so it doesn't matter. Like, we're going to play the unction, dude. We're gonna lose. We're going to play Cincinnati. We're getting destroyed.
58-year-old Joe Flacco is about to put up 320 and 3 tuds on you, bro.
Yes, he is. Yeah. It's going to be all T. Higgins because Jamar going to be locked up. But it's going to be all T. Higgins. Yeah. You know, real quick before we get out of here, I was thinking about something earlier today. I want to know your opinion on it.
Yeah.
I think one of the perfect comparisons in terms of how their career is going is I think Garrett Wilson and Devontae Smith are like, it's so interesting, like how equal but so different their careers are. I feel like if you were to rank wide receivers, depending on what you want, either way, I think they're neck and neck right next to each other. Because here's how I look at it: they're both putting up really good statistical seasons despite their adversity. Garrett's adversity being he's got terrible quarterback play, but he's the one, so he's getting all the target share, and he's awesome in that target share. Devontae Smith's issue is that he's not the one. That's his adversity.
He's a one, but he's not
the one.
He's 1B.
Right. So that there's other mouths that need to be fed. And I find it so interesting because I feel like they're very similar players. They have great route trees. They're smaller guys. I think Garrett has better hands, but I think Devontae is better deep threat. I think they're very, very close. I'm interested to see what your thoughts are on that because I was like, if I had to rank them, they're probably both like somewhere between, on their best day, like 8 and 15 in that range. They're not the top echelon, but I think they're somewhere between 8 and 15, and if they're anywhere, they're right the fuck next to each other. They're in the same. Like it's so weird. Like, Garrett, T. Higgins, and Devontae Smith have had like identical careers or completely fucking different, but they're like identical. It's so weird. I was thinking about that the other night.
Yeah. I don't know if I think about it that way, but yeah, I think I think Smitty, Super Bowl champ, I think that's probably the separator there. I guess if you think about it statistically,
I think about statistically and skill set, not necessarily team success. Because like Garrett Wilson is not lifting Justin Fields. He's not lifting 38-year-old Achilles torn Aaron Rodgers.
I think Smitty can though.
No, he can't. He's not lifting those guys. It's not happening.
I think he can.
No, he can't. I think
he can.
This show's over.
I think he can. Oh, like
no, this show's over. You're not telling me nothing can lift Justin Fields. You put Justin Jefferson and Jamar on that team. He's not doing much better.
We're talking about, is Garrett Wilson, T. Higgins, and Devontae Smith in the same realm? I think he's.
I think they're all
skill set wise. I think skill set wise. I mean, statistics are statistics. I think obviously team situations are everything. But I think Devontae Smith's better than both of them.
Well, you would.
I do.
You would.
I do. I mean, before AJ came, that rookie season, he was a dog as a rookie.
Right. I agree. He's a dog. Bob, what I'm saying is
give my bro respect. He put up damn near 200 on the number 2 passing defense in the NFL.
Garrett Wilson had a 200-yard receiving game with Mike White. Quit playing with me.
Okay.
I'm just saying. I'm not saying Devontae Smith is a less player because he's compared to those. I'm saying those three guys are like on the exact same tier, and their careers are so similar with like statistics, the adversity they face. Like T. Higgins and Devontae is like identical. Like great quarterback, a number one quote unquote overshadowing one. They're not a 2, but they're a 1B, so they're not getting all the target share. And then Garrett is getting the same similar like output for different reasons.
Yeah. I guess I could see that a little bit. I just think I think it's a lot different. T. Higgins, I think his situation, he's a lot different than Smitty. I think like T. Higgins, he's had a lot of injury history. Smitty, probably the most durable receiver in the NFL since he's come into the league.
Yeah, which is crazy because he's so small.
I know. That was
he doesn't get hit. He doesn't get hit that often. He's very good at getting down, getting out of bounds, like doing his thing.
Even when he gets hit, like he pops right back up.
Yeah. I do think you put any of those 3 receivers on a team with like Josh Allen or Mahomes, it's 1,400 yards, 10 touchdowns, 100 catches. Like,
oh well, Smitty always over 1,000 with Jalen.
You put Garrett Wilson over 1,000. T. Higgins not so much because he's hurt, but
Jalen Hurts is giving him in the rings.
All right. That's all we got, y'all. We appreciate y'all so much for listening. This has been the Day One Podcast. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Whether you're on a boat, bus, or plane, you can get the Day One Podcast content anywhere in the world. So go down to your local Sprint Mobile. Get the 4 for 100 plan. Okay, it's $25 a line. Even if your 16-year-old kid is working a part-time job, they should be able to pay that phone bill. Just saying.
$25, they can afford it.
Yeah, right. I mean, I know they're buying crack and condoms and all that different stuff that they need.
I don't know what 16-year-old kids are buying crack and condoms, but
well, I guess if they're buying crack,
V-Bucks.
If they're buying crack, they're probably not buying condoms because they don't roll that way.
They're probably not buying either. They're buying V-Bucks, bro.
Facts, yeah. All right. But yeah, thank y'all so much for listening. Again, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much. Hopefully next time we see you, we'll be across the 1,000 subscriber mark. We'll see. A lot of work to go, but we appreciate you nonetheless. We'll see y'all next week with some more NBA and NFL talk. I'm Kyle. That's Anthony. See y'all later.
Peace.